Hi, my name is Anna. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, and I'm stationed here in Virginia. 23 years ago, I aborted my baby. I knew it was wrong with every fiber of my being. I was 17 years old. I was a senior in high school, and I already was a teenage mother. My oldest daughter was 1 year old at the time. I regret every single day what I did to my baby, and I wish every day I could take it back. But I can't. Unlike some, I grew up in a Christian home. I was raised to know better, but I did it anyway. I was afraid. I was afraid of the reaction of my family and friends for putting myself in this predicament once again. I was afraid of my child's father because when I was pregnant with my first child, he became abusive. He was adamant about me not having the baby. He drove me to the clinic and he paid for everything. Why didn't I just say no? And why was this even an option, or what some will say is a choice? I remember feeling alone. I wanted him to say that everything would be fine. Everything about that day seems like a blur, but I remember the exact location. I remember the room. I remember the sound of that awful machine that sucked my baby away, and the silence that I endured within afterwards because I felt like I had no one to turn to. I felt so empty and sad, and I was left to deal with it on my own, and my own self-torture. I did not care about being promiscuous after I broke off our relationship. I did not care about drinking until I could not remember anything. And most days, I did not care about living. I was pretty much willing to try anything once because in my mind, I simply did not matter. I brought that self-torture into my marriage, and I had a hard time believing that God still loved me enough to bless me with a wonderful husband and 4 beautiful children. I almost managed to mess that up as well because I didn't love myself, so how could I possibly truly love others? The shock waves of murdering my own child is real because I allowed it to affect the ones I love the most without them knowing the possible root cause until now. I did it as a teenager, and it has carried its weight well into my adulthood. I tried forgiving myself for years, but I could not let it go. In March of 2014, I received the healing I refused for so long by attending the Rachel's Vineyard retreat. I remember thinking during that retreat, how can I remain silent? Maybe by me telling the truth of my shame, I can help someone else's pain by letting them know about my baby, my faults, and the power and the blood of Jesus. Today, I share openly and honestly about my daughter, who I named Jessie Grace, which I found out at the Rachel's Vineyard retreat. As I sat down, it meant the gift of grace. Jessie means gift. God gave me the gift of grace that day. It's not easy because I hate what I did to her. If I could have only been stronger back then, she would be here now. And I am sure that any of the anger and the sadness that may have occurred would have subsided by now because it's been 23 years. I permanently fixed a perceived problematic situation, which in actuality, Jessie is a blessing I denied and a gift I did not receive. I function because I know she resides in my Father's arms. And I have hope in my heart that eagerly awaits for the day I finally get to meet her and hold her for myself. Therefore, until that day, I will always be silent no more in Jessie's honor.